I got to spot y'all. That's why I'm here on the basketball court. Did you see Steph and Klay last night? You see Klay coming out there? Bam! You saw that? I know I missed, but that's okay. That's okay because I'm not Steph. I'm not Klay. You know? That's what it is. That's what it is. When I saw that, I said, damn.
All right, speaking of making shots, I got our first takes here for us, Stephen A. Good morning. The Mavs. S.A., your thoughts?
I just loved it. I loved the ovation, the reception that he had of the greatest shooting backcourt in NBA history as far as I'm concerned. It was lovely to see him get the ovation. It was lovely to see him play the way that he played. But then for Steph Curry to take over in the last 3 minutes with those 12 points, 2 of 2 from three-point range, to put him to sleep, it was spectacular to watch. It was really special. Loved it.
All right, from the West Coast to the East Coast, where I'm from. First time we saw Joel Embiid and Paul George on the court together, but it still wasn't enough as the Knicks earned the 12-point win in Philly. Stephen A., talk to me.
Well, listen, Embiid looked very, very sluggish, very rusty. I think a lot of people listen, the man came into the league hurt and missed the first 2 seasons. He was out there last night. He was incredibly timid. You could see him. None of his shots were in the post area. And he's one of the dominant big men. And he is, if not the most dominant big man in the game when healthy. So we understand he's not what he needs to be. But Paul George showed up last night. And if that Paul George continues to show up throughout the season, once Tyrese Maxey returns from his injury and Embiid gets himself in decent enough shape to be out there, Philly's going to be a threat. But right now, nobody should be talked about more in the Eastern Conference than the Cleveland Cavaliers, who've been spectacular.
Absolutely, undefeated. All right, to football we go.
But Steph Curry, but does it in a way that's almost adorable, but he's going to kill you with kindness. Final 12 points of this thing are part of his 37.
I don't want to give the credit to the NBA Cup for this emotion.
No.
But then you top it off with the Klay return. And this, again, as personal as it was for Klay Thompson, as well as he played, by the way, I was super happy the way he played. I love that he got to the free throw line right away. Kind of saw 2 go down, and that kind of helped open up the basket. But this meant a lot to Steph Curry. This meant a lot to Draymond Green. You can tell by their comments after the game, this was not just an ordinary game. They wanted to play well. They wanted to prove that they are better off without him, and he wanted to prove that they're missing him and they need him. So it went both ways last night, and this was an awesome game. This is one of the more exciting games I can remember in early November. This was awesome, and the whole celebration was great for him. So this was a special night. This was a huge win for the Warriors, too. This was a back-and-forth game, and this is a big-time win for the Warriors.
You don't want to give it credit. Well, we'll get to the actual return and the hats and all the good stuff that came with this. But Steph as a showman, I mean, I'm trying to think of guys that you would put ahead of him. Currently, I can't think of one, just because he also has the resume that backs it up, Lou. But what do you think about what he did last night?
I love the fact that it's evolved over time, right? Like, Steph Curry has been a legendary trash talker. He doesn't get the credit for it because he's so mild-mannered and he's so neutral all the time.
Babyface.
So every time he makes a big shot, it peeps his head out. But he talks during games. He has one of those games where he'll get into a back and forth and he'll let his game do a lot of the talking. But in being a showman and being part of the excitement of games besides just making shots. So I love it. I love the fact that he was emotional last night. I love the fact that he took it. He made it honest to make sure, hey, listen, I'm still here and I'm still doing my thing, even to the point that he was screaming in the crowd. And, like I just mentioned, the serial killer scream and looking directly in the camera like that's a statement game for him.
What's crazy to me is when you think of exciting athleticism players, it's Anthony Edwards, it's Zion, it's John Morant. This dude does it more than anybody. It's just shooting the basketball. It's how he does it. It's off the dribble. It's off the catch. It's the range in which he shoots these threes from. It's his clutchness.
It's the timing of when they happen.
It's the timing of everything that he does. When the game on the line, he wants the ball. It's some of the shots when he takes them, you're like, it's their head scratchers. They're horrible shots, and they go in. So when I think of an exciting player, I think of athleticism. Not with him. It is just all straight, pure shooting, and it is so much fun to watch. The guy, he literally changed the game. There's kids around the world shooting the ball from half court because they want to be like Steph Curry. It used to be like, I want to dunk like this guy. Now it's like, I want to shoot like Steph.
Not only the kids, but he even has the NBA changing the way that
he's got Anthony Edwards taking 12 a game.
He got teams shooting 40 to 50 3-pointers because at that time, the Golden State Warriors, they were so dominant behind the 3-point line. In order for you to even compete against them, you had to match that. You had to match that effort and shoot a bunch of three-pointers, and that's carried over into where the game is now.
But last night I'm watching, I'm like, this is nothing. He literally put the whole country on his back and did this in the fourth quarter of the Olympic game. So like this.
Put him to sleep. I love it.
This is just another game.
It was actually very enjoyable. A November game. Can't repeat that enough. And look, there are guys in this league right now, the LeBron, the Steph. They're aging like fine wine. I don't know if this is a one-off, if we're just seeing a special moment in basketball times, or is this maybe moving forward with the evolution of medicine and all the things that come with it?
Well, you got to give it credit. You know, as much as we like to talk about load management and all of those things, as much as the fans don't really agree with it, it's showing that it works, you know. And also, you're looking at guys that, you know, publicly have said they've spent X amount of dollars on their fitness and being in shape and taking their bodies and their careers very seriously. So, you know, you're seeing the changing of the guard. These guys are 35-plus years. The Kevin Durant, Steph Curry's, LeBron James is in his 40s. You know, you have a lot of these guys that are playing late into their careers and still being very productive.
And I think we take these stars for granted. We always talk about the Steph Currys because of things like this they did last night, LeBron James. Kevin Durant is playing at an MVP level. And this is a dude that when he came out, his body type, it was like a Chet Wemby. He couldn't bench press 180 pounds. That was such a big deal. Oh, he's not going to be as sustained. He's still playing at a high level. James Harden, he's been like fat shamed. He's been out of shape. People have been crushed. He's playing at an elite level, and he's 35, 36 years old. So I think we need to just kind of sometimes sit back and look at how brilliant and how unbelievable these guys are, because to be doing that, we know, I'm 36, I can barely get out of bed to go golf or go. So the fact that they're still doing this at this clip is one of the more impressive things I've ever seen in sports.
I think we've just evolved as humanity. There's just a lot more at our disposal to help the process. Obviously, the return was the big story of the night. Klay back in the Bay Area that were lined up when he got to the arena.
And leave and come back so soon and get that hero's welcome. Like you said, it gives you goosebumps. It gives you chills because this isn't normal. You know, there was even conversation about whether there were going to be somebody there that was going to boo him. Like, absolutely not. You know, so to see 3-4 different standing ovations, to see the video, to see all of his former teammates get involved, his former coach get involved, the employees, that tells you the impact that he's had on that Bay Area, that fan base, and they did nothing short of show him all the love in the world. And, you know, he got his flowers last night. You gotta love it.
Yeah, the biggest thing to me was the whole entrance with the employees, because that just shows to me his character and the love and respect that the little people that have, whether you're the front office general manager or you're a janitor at that arena, Klay Thompson always showed you love and respect and embraced you. So the fact that they gave him that warm welcoming, that means more to me than the fans cheering because of how good he was on the court. This is him being just an awesome dude. So that showed me what kind of level of respect that they have for him. So that was awesome. And again, the whole return, the starting lineup thing was great.
Oh, gosh.
It was just it was a goosebump night. I don't know how the hell he made those free throws, because I'm sure he was just emotionally and physically drained and fatigued from the whole video, but he played well. And listen, he missed a couple easy ones, but I mean, the guy had 5 or 6 3-pointers. Like he kept him in the game. He made big plays to the basket in the fourth quarter. This obviously they lost and they would rather have the win there, but it went about just as good as he could without the win.
From a Warriors perspective, because like on the one hand, I love the over-the-top vibe of the welcome back, but then you also kind of have to win the game. Like that's what it felt like. So for me, it was almost scripted perfectly. You took care of business. You gave him this amazing welcome back. You won. Steph did Steph things, and he had a good